Hi, my name is Dama. I'm the founder of Be Frank, and today I want to cover off a few things. First and foremost, thank you so much for joining our channel, having seen our videos in the first place, liking, subscribing, all of that good jazz. I want to talk today about the top 3 comments that we've received on our videos, and the videos that I'm referring to are: one was our full video called Guys Joining the Conversation About Sexual Assault, and 2 was a short snippet of that video which potentially you've seen in HuffPost or Daily Mail. And that video was called Porn or #MeToo ? So without further ado, I'm gonna start. So the first comment that we received quite a lot was really around porn. So the question was, or the comment was, okay, well, this is great, but porn doesn't cause sexual assault. Now, first and foremost, I want to say, no, it doesn't. And that also wasn't what we were trying to portray or say with our video. Really, the storyline that we created with the video was actually showing the contrast between how little we actually have open and honest conversations about sex, how bad we are when it comes to sex education to our children, and how much porn we are watching. So it really comes down to, if we're not talking about it, if we're not teaching our kids about it, and we're watching a ton of porn, we allow porn to become a stand-in for sex education. And if that's the case, then what is porn actually telling our children? For adults, that may not be a really big deal necessarily, because we understand that it's porn and it's not reality, but for children it absolutely is. The average age that a kid gets or watches his first porn video is 10 years old. The stories that porn tells young kids is very, very harmful, and these do not reflect a healthy sexual relationship. That's one. Then 2 was very similar in the same vein. A lot of people commented, okay, great, but reality is not fantasy. Fantasy is not reality. Now, I do agree that porn absolutely is an outlet for our fantasies. It's also reflected in the top 5 search terms globally, which is pretty much like hentai, teens, stepmom, stepdaughter. Now, I don't know how many people have actually had sex with their stepmom or stepdaughter. It's a safe way of enjoying those fantasies. But for an adult to make that distinguishment between reality and fantasy is a lot easier. For a child, it's a lot harder. A child doesn't have the frame of reference yet, the benchmarks, because they've never been in actual sexual relationships and sexual encounters and have that experience. So what for us is fantasy is essentially the only source of truth yet for a kid. And that's where I wanted to illustrate that the stories that we are telling in porn are actually detrimental in terms of shaping the way that we see and perceive sex. And then the final comment that we received was abstinence only. So a few people said actually abstinence only is the best policy, or abstinence is the only way to actually not get a girl pregnant. Now, first and foremost, I want to say no, abstinence is not the best policy, and no, abstinence is not the only way to not get a girl pregnant. There are also certain things like condoms or contraceptive measures like the pill. But again, like maybe if you had proper sexual education, you would know that. Beyond that, I do want to talk a little bit about why I believe that this is very detrimental for our kids, and not giving our kids the information they need to have a healthy and safe sex life is awful. Kids need to understand and need to know what their options are. They need to understand what the risks are associated with it. What you're doing with abstinence only education is essentially telling your kids you should not have sex until marriage, and if you do, then shame on you. So it's inevitable that a kid's going to engage in sexual behavior because it's natural. It's natural human behavior. You're going to explore your sexuality. And if that is blanketed by this feeling of shame and taboo, you're not going to talk about it. So if you're in a harmful sexual relationship, you're not going to talk about it. If you have a problem, you're not going to talk about it. The effect is well studied as well. Like abstinence only education and abstinence only states have a much higher teenage pregnancy rate. Of the top 10 states that have the highest teenage pregnancy rate, 5 of them are abstinence only states. So it's just not the desired effect that you want. So I absolutely am against abstinence only education. We should give our children the information that they require to have safe sex and have a healthy sex life. They need to feel like we're supportive and we're open and we can have that conversation with them. And of course, if they want to wait, they can wait. But by just saying like you should not have sex before marriage, that's not the answer. And that's just taking a really easy way out and not giving our kids the information that they deserve. So that's that. And beyond that, I just wanted to say thank you so much. If you like this video, hit like, hit subscribe. And yeah, stay tuned. We're gonna do a lot more videos. The next video, we're not necessarily going to do topics around sex or around sexual assault. We just want to continue covering topics that are really tough to talk about, that are awkward, uncomfortable. Get a group of guys and speak about this in an open and honest forum. If you have any topics that you want to suggest or that you really want us to cover, hit them in the comments section below. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you guys later. Bye.